I started to see an Egyptian type thing. So it's like a person. It wasn't super clear because I'm trying to figure out who I'm looking at here, and I'm starting to see it. But then around this person, it looked like an old mirror, and then it turned out inside of the mirror was that person, and it's an Egyptian looking guy. So as I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, this mirror, it looks like a portal. Again, we're touching on portals again. So as I'm looking at this Egyptian type person, my awareness then goes into this Egyptian person. I'm not saying it goes into him, but my awareness is then as the Egyptian person. I'm saying me, my Egyptian self, looking at me. So I was then seeing myself meditating in my room. This is where it's a bit like, what the fuck? So once I see myself looking at what I was feeling as I'm the Egyptian, I then came back to my awareness as me, seeing the Egyptian again. So I'm like, Jesus, I'm flicking back and forward here. And I was like, who are you? And then I just telepathically, you're getting this, I am you.
It was almost, it looked like it was mine. I don't know what it was. It was a flying saucer or what it was. It wasn't an airplane. It was not an airplane. It was down off the road.
You're listening to Pursuit of the Paranormal podcast with your hosts, Ash Ellis and Greg Tomlinson.
Hey Ash, how's it going?
Very well, Greg. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. This last weekend, which will be this weekend, which is tomorrow for us, we're off out. And if you've seen our TikTok, you will see that we are off out to two locations, an abandoned care home and a haunted forest.
Yes.
One of those locations I've never been to.
I've been to the care home and I can't wait for you to see it. It's incredible. It's creepy and it's scary as fuck. And hopefully we can still get in because it's amazing.
Yeah, apparently 2 weeks ago you could. So hopefully we're all good. We'll soon find out.
We will. This time tomorrow we'll be there.
We will be there. We will be there. So we've just wrapped up an episode where it started off as one thing and ended as another thing.
I went to places I never thought I'd go.
Same. Not on this podcast, anyway.
No.
I've read many books on the subject. So we started off talking about UFO experience. Then we covered off meditation. And then we went into New World Order, who's running the world and why. So there was a lot to unpack from the episode.
There's a lot to unpack, and I think for a lot of people, you might have to just suspend belief for a little bit. Just while you listen.
Go with it. Go with it. Listen to the whole thing, and then make up your mind.
Yeah, let's go.
So, welcome along, Bo. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good, Wicked. Nice to meet you both.
Yeah,
you too.
It's we haven't spoken before. We have guests that return, so it's nice to speak to somebody new. So, as listeners will hear, you're from the northwest of the country.
Yeah,
So,
northwest Manchester.
again, I'm being overrun by northerners. And then tomorrow I'm up north, so it's non-stop northern for me.
Yes,
But welcome along.
It's good energy in the north. You find a lot of the northerners are the good energy people. That's why you're working with so many.
Yeah, I've got a mug that says Northerner in training, so she's trying to get me up north. She's trying to.
We've got the Northern Powerhouse now with the number 10 North, whatever that's.
Don't you dare go politics
wow.
quick into the episode.
Yeah, let's not start it, man.
Yeah, don't you start. I don't even know who Andy Burnham is properly, but I know he's from No More.
He's just another puppet.
Absolutely. That's a whole nother episode as well.
Yeah.
So, we are speaking to you tonight, though, because you've got a UFO experience and experiences to talk about. But before we go into sort of present day stuff,
Yeah.
we always like to have a chat with our guests and sort of go back a bit and get your sort of origin story. So, have you always been into the paranormal, UAP, UFOs, that kind of thing? So, where did it sort of start for you?
Yeah, definitely. I've always, ever since I can remember, I've always known there's more than what we're just seeing. Oh, it's just us on the planet, la 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 la. I've always thought there's definitely more than that. I don't know why. It's not even because as a kid growing up. It's not even because I've seen any proof of it. It's just a feeling that you get. That feeling like, well, of course, there's got to be more. So growing up, um, ghosts fascinated me. I used to feel like when I was a kid, I'd see things. Now you obviously get that story quite a lot with kids, don't you? But it just gets dismissed by people, your parents and that. So when I was catching things at the side of my eyes, I used to just think I'm see, whatever. It's just the imagination and that. But then as you're going through school, and as I was going through school, people would be talking about, ghosts aren't real, aliens aren't real, and all that stuff. But I didn't resonate with that. I was like, it's like shallow-minded. How can you think there's nothing else? Again, it's not because I've actually been taught anything. It's just I just in and knew. I just knew there was more to it. And then growing up, aliens fascinated me. Superman fascinated me. He was an alien. I used to love Superman, but I used to love the fact that he was from another planet and he's coming here and he's doing his thing. Obviously, he's got all these powers and all that stuff. So I used to pretend I'm Superman as a kid. I used to think I've got the powers. I used to love pretending I can fly around and stuff. And then I'd be looking at the stars thinking, where's my planet? But the more I'm getting into that in my imagination, I'm thinking, fucking hell, actually, where am I from? And then I start thinking, am I even from here? So all that started happening to me as a kid. Again, imagination running wild, as a lot of people would say, wasn't it? And then, you just grow up, you watch films, you see films, and some things you just think, rubbish. And then as you're growing older, you tend to find out they put a lot of things in films to either make you see the truth or make you think, that'll never happen, especially the sci-fi. So if you look at the sci-fi, as we're growing up throughout the years, all the sci-fi films, you're thinking, bonkers, it'll never happen. But we're starting to find out, and a lot of people have found out, it's pretty much documentary on our episodes of life. So, yeah, I've always been into all this mad stuff.
Do you have any sort of paranormal experiences? You mentioned ghosts and stuff when you were younger.
Yeah, so the first thing I remember, not first thing I remember, but the first thing that sticks in my head was when I was in primary school, this girl, I won't mention her names, but she had a family from related to some tribal family, and they used to talk about the devil and Satan and all this stuff and conjuring up spirits. As she was young, and the kid, obviously, all as kids, we're having no idea what she's talking about. But she said, "Do this thing," and it was a call out. So it's like calling out, and you'll see something tonight. So I did it, and then later that night when I was in bed, bear in mind I was probably about I don't know. What's the ages? I can't remember the ages in school. Maybe about 7, maybe younger. So I did this thing in school, as she said, and then I was in bed, and then the curtains in my room looked like they were setting on fire. They looked like they were setting on fire. So I know I'm not asleep at this point. I'm thinking they're on fire. I'm squinting my eyes. I'm shaking my head. I'm under the covers. But then I looked again, and they were fine. And then a little bit later, there was like a certain section, it was plain curtains, there was no patterns, certain section on the curtains where it was a flame. So it's like like the emoji now on the phone where it's just that picture of a flame. It was like that on the curtain. So I shit myself because I've just seen a fire on my curtains. Now I'm a kid, I've not took no drugs, I'm not high or nothing like that. I'm not even asleep. I'm seeing this flame, this fire, so I'm shitting myself. I'm start crying, shouting at my mum. I think I was younger than 7, actually. I was probably younger than 7. So I didn't want to stay in my room. I went in my mum's room. And then I seen it on her curtains. So it followed me from my bedroom to her bedroom, and I seen the same flame on the curtain, and then I instantly thought, it's the devil, because in the conversation with the kid in school, it was about, you call the devil up, you can see him and all that. Obviously you think, okay, whatever. So I'm seeing this flame. That was that. Shit was out. Eventually went to sleep. Next day, I believed in dimensions, magic, some sort of devil type stuff, because I seen it there and then. I think that's what made me just know there's more to what we see, because of the way she's told us to do something. Might be some voodoo magic or whatever right now, but we did it and it worked, and I seen it, and I'll never forget that, and I always remember that. So that's probably the first thing as a kid. Yeah.
You mentioned about seeing sort of things in the corner of your eye. What
Yeah.
sort of things did you see?
So not that time, but as I've grown up, I started seeing like shadows flash past me, or maybe a white mist just flash past me, and then you double checking and you're just denying it, aren't you? But I used to catch a lot of shadows. Even if I'm walking around, as I'm growing up, I'd be walking around, a shadow in a corner would just flicker in my eyes, and think nothing of it really at the time. And that was that. And that just gained me interest in ghosts, and obviously the things that we can't see. And then, I didn't really notice it happening much more. So as years have gone on, people will be saying things, and then people will be saying, have you ever seen that? Or have you ever seen this? And I'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, sure, right, you fucking weirdo. Have you tripping and all that? No, mate, trust me. You see these things. Some people see them, some people don't. Some people just, it's your eyelashes, or someone just walked past you or something like that. Yeah, you can make the excuses, that's fine. But when it's yourself and you actually catch glimpses of something, whether it's, a white one or a black one or something like that, if you see it multiple times and you're growing up and you don't deny it to yourself, you do recognize it is something. I think when you start recognizing that what you're seeing isn't your imagination, it repeats a bit more. You tend to see other things happening other ways in other places, and as you go. I think when you acknowledge something, it gains its strength. If that makes sense.
So, kind of fast forwarding a little bit then to kind of more adult you. So the whole thing that's been going on, do you want to kind of explain what's been going on with your experiences that you had as an adult, what's happening now, I guess?
Well, recently, then, the UFO thing, the whole reason why I ended up chatting with Greg was I seen a video online that he's put up there, and it's the big orb in the sky just floating through. Obviously, as time's gone on, people have these videos, but everyone's denied them, aren't they, in the past? And then you see more and more, and this is why AI is out, because it wants to confuse people even more. They don't actually want it to be understood whether it's true or not, because there's so much manipulation. You can't guarantee anything digitalized now is actually fact, because there's so much manipulation. I know for a fact, 100%, I've physically seen them. So it's gone on for a few months. Random times, I'll go in the back garden at night. I'll be having a cig, I'll just be chilling. It's clear sky. And then I'm just looking, and I'll just be thinking about something, and then I'll see a big flash ball of light. Now, bear in mind, there's no stars. Where I'm looking now, say I'm at my door, I'm looking out, I've got quite a clear sky. There's no buildings, there's nothing in the way, there's no like pollution during these times either. There's no massive stars where you might think it's just a star flickering, because literally the light that I'm seeing, it's probably about a mile away. You don't even see it that far. It seems pretty close. So the first time, it was like just a flash. And I thought, where the fuck's that come from? If there was a sky rise behind it, I'd think someone just flashed me with a torch. But no one did. It's just a flash. So I thought nothing of it. Another night, same place, I've had another flash. So there's nothing there to start to flash. It's just a flash appearing and then disappearing. So again, thinking, that's the brothers that in the spaceship. They're obviously letting hello, they're saying hello. So I'm like, you got to do something more than that. I need to see something more than that. Talking out to him. Nothing's happened after that. And then another time, I was just having a cig, and I thought, if you're there, show me something good. And then I said it in my head. And then I turned around because I was fiddling with a plant pot above my head. And then I turned, and then the flash come on, and it stayed on. And it was pretty much shining a light to me, like a spotlight. But it wasn't like a steady spotlight. So it went ping. I had a light kind of hit me, and then the light was still there, but it moved across and then disappeared. So it didn't go, and it wasn't fast like you see in some films and videos and that. It didn't zap off and disappear. It shined its light, give it a steady move, and then disappear. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't an invisible something that you could class as some sort of invisible plane. Just turn a light on. There's literally nothing there. Turned it on. The same flashes that I've seen. Same ball lit up, bright white. You could see it was circular, and the movement was smooth. It moved for like 3 seconds, and then just it faded off. It didn't just disappear. It faded off. So I knew instantly, UFO, baby. And that's at the night times. That's like early hours. So they've happened then. And then I've seen it without the lights in the day. It's just kind of appeared like a mirror ball. So like a mirror kind of thing. It's hard to describe whether it's see-through or not, but you could see some sort of reflection. Been there as I'm looking, and I'm staring, thinking, what the fuck is that? I'm thinking, oh, is that? But then when I clock what it can be, it disappears within the colour of the sky again. But again, same place. So to me, they're communicating something to me in some sort of way to make me understand that they're there. And I don't know why, but they're definitely there.
Did you get the impression that, like, during the daytime one, that
No.
they were more aware of you than you were of them to begin with? So
I think they were always aware of me.
They showed themselves to you rather
Yeah.
than just sort of randomly seeing them.
Yeah. It's like, check us out. And then they go, do you want me to see them? They definitely want me to see them. The ones at the night time, it's so fucking clear. I can't deny it. Because when you tell someone that, they think, oh, it's just a ball. It's just it could be a helicopter with it's not. There's nothing else around. It's like 2:30 a.m. Nothing else around. You can't mistake it for any stars. The stars aren't even the same level. You can't even really see the stars, and the stars are a lot higher. This thing is fucking 9 level. And then it makes itself very aware by shines a light at me. So, the Chinese torches, I've shined one back, so I'll give them a little their own taste of medicine type thing. Like, let's have a chat through light language type thing. But they are making me aware about their presence. Yeah, because I'm not even looking for it, but they'll just go, hello, I'm here, and goodbye. And then I get a feeling of, you've got my back type thing. It's a weird feeling, because after it, it's not like a confusion. It's not like I'm thinking, shit, what was that? I'm very calm with it because, like I say, I do 100% know, and I'll say I'll know that there is other things out there. So when I get these little moments where they're showing themselves, I'm like, yes, boys, I'm doing it, boys. Don't worry. Whatever I'm doing, yeah, I can see you. Don't worry, I know you're there. So it's like, I've got the boys, I've got the backs type thing.
It's interesting because. Go on, sorry, I was saying. The first time you saw it and you said there was just like a flash, Ash, when we went out with the girls and before we went up to House of Cries, that's exactly the same thing that we saw. That you didn't, because you had your fucking back turned to us. But it was just like a
bing.
It was just silent as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's odd that that's exactly the same. I get the impression it was the same sort of.
Yeah. And that was like, I think that's just to catch your eyes, because the intent. I mean, not the first one, but the main one where they flashed the light at me. That was an intense light. That was like a white LED, clear, bright light. It wasn't like a yellow, pale, starry light. It was in your face light. But like what you're saying now, and you're seeing that with the girls, it's definitely an attention. Like, we're here, check us out, type thing.
There's quite a lot of reports we get to into our database, which starts with bright flash, and then I saw like an object which is then moving, darting around the sky and stuff like that. There's just looking now. There's 2 in May where they reported the flashlight which got the attention, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's it's described like a star, but it's moving about and it's obviously making movements that obviously aren't a star or a satellite. So why then, if you have any opinions on why are they showing themselves to you or at all?
Because I believe I've got connection galactically with Arcturians and either Lyran or Lemurian, something like that. When you start looking into galactic races, and I mean, you can go to insectoids and things like that, things we might think is creepy as fuck. Yeah, well, we're in a human suit. We're going to think it's creepy as fuck. But back in our other land, before we come on this game, we're something else. Now, I'll say that as well, because I do believe we all share consciousness from the source. We end up splitting into different things. We go into our games. We choose to be a galactic race. If we don't want to be that, we can come and be human, or we can be both, or whatever. So when I've done like meditation, I've communicated with other beings, I'd say. So I've seen multiple variations of other beings. So it's not just like your typical greys and your typical Arcturians, or what are the other ones, the long blonde hair, them ones and all that.
Nordics.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different things. And I think I'm able to do that because I don't get freaked out. And because of the level of what I feel about myself and where I've, had some sort of connection, i.e., I think, like I say, I'm messing around there saying they're the boys in the sky and all that. I do. When I've told people I've seen a UFO, the boys are in town and all this stuff, I don't give a fuck. I'll say it, and I'll sound weird about it if we don't bother me that. Because a lot of people, they'll look at the stars and they'll think the same thing, but they'll be a bit weirded out by even saying it, speaking it out loud. And I'll tell people, yeah, you're an alien. You probably got this alien galactic race that are looking out for you because you are on this game now. You're trying to have a little game and they're looking out for you in the sky, whether it's the sky or next to you, and you just can't see them. So when I see them in the sky, I get that comforting feeling, not comforting, but that feeling of like, boys type thing. It goes back to me learning about all the other types of things that we might not see, and the types of aliens and the types of races that are out there. So, yeah, a few different things. I believe that they're letting themselves known to me because they want me to now know that they're around. They want me to now see them in variations. Because if you think about all this disclosure stuff, as time goes on, more and more people are going to see more and more things. And then pretty much the world, well, the Western world, I mean, the other side of the world, they already know about all these people, all these landings and all these different, variations of races, because it's inscribed in their life as they grow up. It's just the Western world that's really going to be getting some sort of disclosure. Yeah. So when they're showing themselves to me or to whoever else, it's a little wink. It's a little like, hello. Because if you haven't looked into it now, they're giving you a personal hello because they want you to look a bit deeper. They want you to go inside on yourself. They want you to chill, meditate. They want you to take these brainwashed rules off that the world gave us for so many fucking years about it's in space, you'll never see them, and, they're evil, and when they come here, they're going to take over the world. Shut up. And that is the government. That's the government and Hollywood. They want you to think all that. Trust me, when you start getting on a level with yourself, and like I say, meditating, it sounds boring. But once you start getting in that mode, because my concentration, especially like, tabs of NDM, ADHD and fucking autism and all that stuff, we're all sprinkled with something. When you try and start getting calmer and you just give yourself even 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, you'll start getting used to it. Your mind will start calming down. And I think when you stop the noise in your mind, you're able to give a little leeway to other things coming to connect. So, yeah, it's about your frequency, you're raising your frequency, etc. So in meditation, I've not just, like I've seen these winks from, I say, the boys. I've seen things in meditation where you think normally you should shit yourself, like a weird, creepy looking alien with about 100 eyes. But I've felt this type of conversation with him. I write stuff down after meditation and during it as well, because after it, it's hard to remember. But what I then do is, so I'm going on one here. When I do something in meditation or I feel like I'm connecting with someone, I'll ask for some sort of proof in the 3D. So I need you to give me something so I know I'm not making this shit up. So I'll get a name or get a phrase or something like that, and I won't understand what it is, and then I'll Google it, and then it'll end up being about some dug up African fucking I don't know, secret thing that was found 10 years ago, and it'll have an image of something I seen meditating, or something that resembles a picture of what I seen will be on this article or this something. So when I feel like I'm communicating with whatever in meditation, I'll always try and get myself some sort of proof. So again, I don't think I'm going nuts. So this is why, there's so much out there that we don't get told, and I do fully believe, they're giving people winks, whether it's a flash and a quick zap. You can't deny it sometimes.
So how long has this been going on for you since like that first time you were flashed, let's say?
That was a bit naughty, that, don't it? The first time I was flashed, I was about 10 years old and I never recovered. He's in jail. I don't know, about the flash, I'd say 6 months to a year ago, something like that. 6 months to a year ago, as in physically, with my own physical eyes, seeing something in the sky. Now, actually, so when I go back and I think places have been out and about, I'm sure I've seen something in the sky, but I've not acknowledged it like, yeah, definitely seen that. You think you've seen something, but you don't know. And it's before you see all this online, the hype stories about this video, or, the government trying to put it out there, whatever. It's before.
We lost
12 months, really.
Oh, we lost you there.
You lost me there?
For about the last 5 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, it's them, mate, probably interfering with it.
Mine keeps going off for some reason. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because
they can interfere with technology.
You wouldn't believe that
this is what we're saying.
The weird shit that happens. We were on a podcast once. There's been many odd things, and we were chatting to someone. We were talking about the fact that we weren't going to be allowed to go to Mars and all this kind of stuff. And at the exact same time, we were filming it, recording the episode, and talking about they won't let us leave the Earth and all that. A SpaceX rocket had actually blown up on the takeoff. Do you remember that with Ben?
Mm.
That was mad.
Is the tester for the Mars one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tester for the Mars one. So
yeah, there's no place on Mars, mate. There's no, they're not going there.
Well,
it could be another podcast that, but the planets aren't round circular balls like they think we're all sat on.
What do you think then? Let's go there.
Well, let's say stars. Okay, I don't think stars are any sort of ball of gas either, like the sun. I'm not going into the flat Earth theory and all that. That's just a long conversation, isn't it? But I believe stars are windows. So there's water. I don't think there's space. There's water. The water holds entry points. Entry points are stars or windows. So when you look through our telescopes, that when I say ours, non-NASA, ones that NASA don't have contracts with the builders for either, where they put certain things within the technology. When you look through it, you can see it looks like you're looking into a swimming pool, the actual stars. And it's the same with the planets. Yeah, I've seen some videos of people, oh, look at what I'm seeing, Jupiter, with the rings. You can see the rings in a perfectly smooth circle representing a planet. Bullshit. You're not seeing Jupiter with the perfect rings, perfectly smooth. they could, if anything, they could be projecting that into the sky, knowing they're going to get 100,000 people on the telescopes to look at it, and it could just start off another agenda. It's not hard for them to be putting out projections in the sky. They're doing it. Loads of people are seeing videos. It's projections in the sky. People can say what they want, but they're trying to hit on certain targets, certain agendas. Planets are some of them. So when NASA put out all these planets and what they look like, I think it's a load of nonsense. Stars don't look anything like the stars that they've made us all led to believe. Stars are windows, I think, because portals are made of water in a way. It's vibration. Water can move consciousness. You can move through water. So I do believe the stars are able, like windows for them to see or send energy through. Because when certain stars are aligned with certain planets, i.e., you get certain energetic convulsions, you get energy in certain ways, hence like star signs, how the planets affect certain patterns of behavior, certain things that happen within the world. It's all done through astrology, a lot of it, and astrology is based on the stars and the planets. But that can't happen if it's a round ball, and I don't think there's any round balls, and I don't think there's any real Saturn that you see in the sky right now.
So you say that they are projecting like the image of Saturn up there for us to see. Who's
Could
they?
be. Most likely, that's
Who's
what I
they?
said.
Who's they?
The powers that be that have secret little agendas that want to move the world in a certain position in a certain way. They want to break down certain beliefs. They want to destroy certain beliefs. They want to keep certain religions intact. They want to keep certain things going a certain way so we manifest a certain world that they want. And when I say they, I can't give names, obviously, but there's people behind the scenes that control the people in the scenes. And NASA's a big one of that. Anything in the sky, really, is, I mean, you've seen some of the random stuff, haven't you? I'm sure on the videos.
Mm.
To me, I look at that and I think, how can you not tell it looks like a projector? Poor quality, flickering. How do you really think that's in the sky? But again, it fools a lot of people.
I mean, I've seen Saturn through a telescope. I understand what you're saying, but that's quite a big push for people to be on your side with that point of view. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just, it is quite a big thing because they've been seeing Saturn for some time. But
I do believe you can see Saturn, okay, but I don't believe it's what they put out there on these videos. It's super smooth, super perfect looking image. To me, it's doctored. It's some sort of CGI that they can project in the sky like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Saturn's not true and Saturn's not real. Yeah, I definitely know you can see something, but I don't believe some of the stuff that you see online and being put out there. No.
That's fair enough. What are these windows then? You say about the stars being windows. What are they windows to, or where are they windows from?
So the windows, I mean, I can't say 100%, obviously, because I've not been there, as far as I remember.
You may have been, your mates might have.
I mean, yeah, they could have. But I believe it's like, it's some sort of energy entry point.
Yeah.
So if you take the typical looking portal that you see on TV or whatever, the big ring, if that was in the sky, but it was active, they can send something through, whether it's whatever. I don't know. I can't actually say because I don't actually know for real. But I just believe there are windows into our dimension. So through the stars, to another galaxies or another universes elsewhere. Where that is, I don't know, obviously. But from when you see it through a telescope and it looks like water, that's a good indication it's a portal of some sort. So portal to where? No idea. But, there's a lot of things that we can't physically see with our eyes, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's not true.
Yeah, agree. It's interesting because I do lend theory to different dimensions, and I know we've spoken about UFOs and cryptids could be interdimensional. And it's weird because I listen to all sorts of podcasts and science podcasts and everything in between. And they talk about quantum computing. And this I can't even get my head around quantum mechanics and stuff like that. But they were saying that you're doing this is where the interdimensional thing and these portals come into it for me.
Yeah.
That these guys or these scientists are doing computations on these computers. So they plug it in, but at the exact same time in all different dimensions, right? The other scientists on the same computers but in other dimensions are doing the same computational working out and mathematics as everybody else at exactly the same time. And they
Yeah.
use all the processing power of all these different dimensions, computers. So every option and every dimension of this computer existing is being used for computing power at the same time. Now maybe those windows or energy portals that's part of it. I don't know, but I can't even get my head around it. And they got scientists talking about all this stuff,
Yeah.
and my brain just goes,
Yeah, it's sad because there's so much out there and there's so much like you say one thing, but you can go into it so deep and then, well, how does it affect something else? So the quantum computing land and the quantum science is it's uh, it's a science of spiritual dimensions and spiritual happenings. It's just we give it a name to sound like a science. Obviously, we haven't, but it's got a name, and it's catching up. I mean, the double split experiment that's proving that we're in some sort of simulation by when we decide something to happen, it happens, but it happens without us even seeing it. Until we've seen it, obviously. So if something like that's happening with the computer, so if we're on this laptop now, I believe we're talking. There's another version of us talking, doing the exact same thing, having the same conversation. So I've just led this conversation one way, but another timeline I've led it another way. And quantum physics is trying to say the same thing's happening. We just can't see it in another area. So, like I used to say, the stars aren't one window to look at a version of Earth here, and they're going on about multiverse. Another window might be going back to another universe with another Earth and another version of it on another timeline. Another star might be an even more in-depth version of Earth with fucking pretend dinosaurs on.
yeah.
But they say it's the past. They used to say it's not actually happening just over there through that window. So I do believe there's different planes. We've got different realms. We've got different dimensions. We've got the Earth realm. Apparently, we've got 9 planes on each realm, and there's 13 realms. Earth is a realm. There's 9 versions, so 9 dimensions, 9 planes happening on a game of Earth. That's really a headfuck when you try and think of that when you don't have a clue what that even means. But like we've got our history here in one version of Earth. I believe ancient Egypt is happening now, but in another version of Earth we can't see. Ancient Greece, mythological Greece, it's not all stories. It's actually happening now, but we just can't see it. All piled up, happening on Earth. Just we're tuned into the 3D Earth of this story. There's another vibration that tunes into another version of the same story, and vice versa. Just again, it goes into past lives, but I think past lives are actually lives that are going on now. So we're all intertwangled, and it's just happening as a parallel universe that we can't see. But when you heighten your vibration, you can tune into certain things. And I say that I touch up on Egypt because I believe, which I say I believe. I'd say that because I was trying to soften it. I'm not saying I believe. I know. I've communicated with my Egyptian self
Okay.
again through meditation, and it's really strange. It's quite a story actually what was going on because I didn't obviously know what's going on. So it's when I first got into meditation. Basically, I was meditating and I had some Egyptian type music on in my ears, just a bit of the or whatever, just playing in the background. So I was just chilling. And then I just had the urge to take it off, so I took it off. And then I started to see an Egyptian type thing. So it's like a person. It wasn't super clear because I'm trying to figure out who I'm looking at here. And I'm starting to see it. But then around this person, it looked like an old mirror. And then it turned out inside of the mirror was that person. And it's an Egyptian looking guy. So as I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, this mirror, it looks like a portal. Again, we're touching on portals again. So as I'm looking at this Egyptian type person, my awareness then goes into this Egyptian person. I'm not saying it goes into him, but my awareness is then as the Egyptian person. I'm saying me, my Egyptian self, looking at me. So I was then seeing myself meditating in my room. This is where it's a bit like, what the fuck? So once I see myself looking at what I was feeling as I'm the Egyptian, I then came back to my awareness as me, seeing the Egyptian again. So I'm like, Jesus, I'm flicking back and forward here. And I was like, who are you? And then I just telepathically, you're getting this, I am you. So when I had this telepathic, I am you, I flipped back to this Egyptian. And then I'm looking at myself again, meditating in my room, looking at this Egyptian. But the weird thing is, when I was a bit more conscious of that, I had a look and I could see Egyptian landscape, dark blue sky, clear stars. I could see buildings. It wasn't like desert. I could see the pyramids. I could see buildings, lights flickering, movement out in the distance. I was sat on, again, not physically, but my awareness was within this Egyptian. I'm sat on something high where I can see out into the distance, seeing the sky, seeing the landscape, seeing what's going on. But I've also got this like mirror looking thing in front of me as I'm this Egyptian. So again, it's like I'm sure it was a portal. I could only see myself in the middle of it. So when I'm looking at myself, I end up coming back to me in my room. When I'm back to me in my room, I'm kind of having a conversation, trying to figure out who this is, and he's saying, "I am you." Now, this is years ago. I can't really remember what I was spewing on about. I just remember the things that were surprising me, which was when I was looking at him, I kind of felt like I was seeing this thing, this pink thing, looked like a string coming from this portal-looking mirror thing from him, and it came to me, and it felt like it was literally right there, and I felt it. I felt some sort of touch on my head. As I felt out on my head, my awareness then went back to this Egyptian. So I'm this Egyptian again. I'm looking at me physically through this mirror. I can see myself sat down meditating. I can see myself looking back to me as the Egyptian. And then I feel like I'm sending this type of energy thing. So this is why I'm saying I feel like I was cross-communicating with a, let's say, past life, but I believe it was happening right there and then. Because if it was happening as a past life, I don't believe I'd have an interaction like that. I don't believe my awareness would be going back and forward, and I was having some sort of communication conversation about I am you. And again, I can't really remember the conversation. I wrote it down somewhere. I don't have it right now. But if that was a past life, I couldn't be going back and forward. It'd be more like reliving a memory, reliving something I'm seeing or something happening where I'm seeing it happen in real time. But if there's actually another dimension, another place that's happening right there and then, I was able to cross-communicate, if you know what I mean. So back and forward. And because I was going back and forward, it was freaky. So then when I was at one point, my Egyptian self, let's say, I'm looking ahead, I could see myself, my physical self, on the other side, sitting there meditating, eyes shut and all that. I said in my head, as the Egyptian self, stand up. I was saying, stand up. I want to see you move, type of thing. My awareness then come back to myself here, meditating in my room, and I fucking stood up. Don't know why I stood up. It's just a command that I seem to have given myself. I stood up, and then in my head, I'm still seeing the Egyptian himself. I was still feeling his connection. I still feel like there's some sort of energetic thing that he's put from his self to me into my head type thing. And then it was pretty much like, right, okay, I think I'm going to have a little chill here because I don't know what the fuck's going on. So, I mean, so it was kind of a quick flash goodbye type thing. I wasn't saying bye, but it was like I just knew that I didn't have to say bye type thing. And then I opened my eyes and I come back to myself here, and it just felt so real, and it was amazing at the time because I literally thought, who the fuck's that? Is that me in the past? Because of the past belief of past lives. But this is why I say I do believe there's other planes that are happening now. There's other lives that are happening now of you and other people, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, wherever else. And if you do meditate, or you do raise your frequency, or you do, hit some sort of frequency vibration or some sort of way, I do believe we can communicate.
So, I mean, there's lots to unpack with that. So, are you able to keep communicating with this not past, but your alternate self, or is there any other kind of versions of yourself you've been able to communicate with?
I've had interaction with different things. I've never had it again where that's happened, where I feel like I'm having a full-blown conversation, one-to-one, seeing him, flicking to him and flicking back to me. That was that, let's say. When I've meditated, I zap off to places sometimes, and then I remember once I just appeared. It's weird to say this because if you don't meditate, you just think whoever's talking about these experiences, you just think you're chatting absolute shit. How can you just appear somewhere when you know, or when you feel you are somewhere? You know you're there. You know there's a difference between your imagination and your awareness. So your imagination, like if you're sitting there meditating and you're just there and you feel like you're seeing things, or you're having things going on in your head. If you dismiss it, it'll go. If you're like, all right, yeah, that's funny, whatever, you just dismiss it. It just leaves. But when you actually experience something, like your awareness moves somewhere, you don't dismiss it. You're actually feeling yourself there. So a random one. I just appeared in, it was like a classroom. I was in a chair. There was some sort of alien looking thing to the right of me, some sort of alien thing looking to the left of me, and some sort of alien thing looking to, like, directly at me. It was only like a quick thing, but I felt like I was in trouble. I don't know why. I just had this feeling like I'm in trouble, like either what am I doing here, or I've got something to say. It was like being in school, where the teachers looks at you like you've done something wrong. I just felt like something's gone wrong, like I shouldn't either be there, or I'm supposed to say something and I don't have a fucking clue what it is I'm supposed to say. So yeah, I had something to the left and something to the right. Again, very alien looking. The thing in front of me had about 20 eyeballs. It looked like that green thing off Ghostbusters, but with like multiple eyeballs. It's slime.
Slimer.
Something like that. I know it sounds really daft because it's off Ghostbusters, but that's what it looked like. And it was right in front of me. And it was just giving me the feeling of what you're doing here type shit, like get out of it. So kind of just, when I had that feeling of that, I was like, I shouldn't be here type thing. So I consciously said, get out of this space. And then I did, and I just come back. So sometimes it doesn't happen all the time. I could just meditate and just chill. But a lot of the times I end up zapping to random places. I'm trying to think of other places. I made some notes, but I'm trying to think where else.
Did you feel you've ever been on one of these craft? So these ones that have sort of showed themselves to you, do you feel like you've ever, there's more of a connection than this, just you seeing it? Do you think there is more of a Do you feel like you've actually been closer to them? Have you been on a craft? Do you feel like you've been taken, or do you?
Yeah, but not in physical.
Yeah,
I feel like in my dreams I've been there.
yeah. Okay,
In dreamland, yeah.
no, that's fair.
Yeah, I say dreams. I don't think. Oh, I've been abducted. I don't have any of them thoughts and feelings like
Yeah,
I've been abducted and like there's a concern of some sort. But I feel like in my dream, when I've woke up from dreams, it was so vivid and real. Like I've been communicating with someone on a ship, some sort of being on a ship.
mm.
But obviously, like dreams don't make any sense.
How does it make you all feel? Or how does it make you feel? All of it. Do you feel? I know you said you didn't feel sort of scared. You felt like they got your back and all this kind of stuff. But do you feel that they've got something for you, or they're trying to impart something to you?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like again, I'm not even asked how weird it sounds to other people, but I feel like they're letting themselves know a bit more slowly to me.
Right.
Little winks here and there, what they're doing, flashing. But then I'm getting visits in dreams. Um, like I say, meditating, I seem to just be able to zap off to places. I feel like with the changes that I'm doing in my life, trying to raise frequency, trying to eat healthier, things like that, look after myself, because I know the way the world's changing. There's going to be more type of disclosure. There's going to be a lot more alien shit going on. There's going to be a lot more of this happening in the future. And I believe I'm just supposed to get comfortable with it, whether that's in my head or physically. And because I've never been uncomfortable with it, I'm all right with that. Because if you've got a bit of a sketchy, like, don't know about that, they're either going to hold off, like, all right, he's not ready, or fuck him, he's not even asked type stuff.
It's interesting because disclosure's an interesting. I spoke to somebody a couple of nights ago and saying that to people like us, the people into it, people that know about it and have seen stuff, there it's not actually disclosure because we all believe it anyway. So
Yeah,
there is no actual disclosure for us. It doesn't make any difference because everybody, like on our sort of wavelength, for want of a better word, all
yeah,
believe anyway. So it's it's weird. It's sort of disclosure for the masses rather than disclosure for the UFO people because UFO, I say UFO, UAP, that we everybody knows, everybody believes anyway.
yeah. That's it. This disclosure stuff, again, it's a narrative. They want to get it in the way they want people to understand it. So I do believe Project Bluebeam is a thing. I don't believe that they'll be able to get away with it. I do believe they'll fool a lot of people with things in the sky because they're fooling a lot of people with things in the sky now. I mean, I seen a video the other day about a dragon flying around a football stadium. I'm like, years ago, I seen 8D projection in a stadium where the dragons are flying around in the stadium. They're landing on the seating. They're landing. They're nearly flying into people. It was presented as a show, but that was years ago. They're testing people to see what people think is good and what can fool people. And now, because it was so many years ago, they can come out with this stuff. And with all the crazy shit that's going on the news and wherever else, people forget actually, they've already shown us all that. So they can come out with all this stuff. So disclosure about aliens and all that stuff. I do believe that they're going to try and manipulate the masses about the whole fact that they're the bad guys. Do you know what I mean? They don't want people to be aware that I'd like to say they've got best intentions for us because they don't want us nuking the planet. They don't want us blowing the planet up because that type of shit is going to affect molecules. And affecting molecules affects photons. The photons affect, it goes on and goes on. It affects vibrational. everything, and that will affect frequencies, and that will affect beings that we can't see. Got to remember, we can only see like point something 3366 of light, but there's other shit around us. We just can't see it. So who's to say this chemical nuke can't affect that? So they definitely, again, the government, they want to string out disclosure in a way that suits them. Again, to the people that aren't really seeing things or hearing things or even into it, or the disbelievers, but they're going to have to come to the fact that it is true. And the way that they can control the disbelievers is in their narrative. So when they get the people learning in their way, they can control more of that understanding type stuff.
So, kind of pulling it back a bit to like spaces and what we think it is.
Yeah.
Who is the they in this instance? Is it governments or is it above? Because if it's been lying to us, it's been decades, centuries of them lying to us about what the universe and what space is. So who is controlling like this narrative?
Okay. I presume you've heard of the reptilians and dracons, yeah? They are the puppet masters of the people. So you got families like, yeah, okay, it's all conspiracy. Listen, is conspiracy even a word these days? Does it even count for anything? Because I don't think it does. I think we're running out of conspiracies. So when people talk about things like this, like dracons or reptilians, they are the puppet masters of the people, the person, the 3D human, because they'll just chomp you up if you're not obeying them. So I believe the people that want us to be all fooled about space is because they're not the people, but I believe the dracons are running the show, but they're not in charge. We're created by such beings as Anunnaki, as I'm sure you've heard them before. They've gave the dracons a chance to say, okay, you can stay on this plane, this realm. We've created people, but you can't fuck with them. The only way you can fuck with them is if you're not seen, and then you can stay. Because the people are feeding the Anunnaki through energy, through loosh. I know we're going deep here, and I said before, I can split everything into other conversations because they all link, and I'm getting back to space. So if the Anunnaki don't actually want us to believe what we truly are, which is interdimensional, and we have asleep dormant powers of sort. You know, I'm not going to go into what's what, but you can imagine the X-Men and all that shit. We have abilities of telekinesis. We have abilities of moving matter with our mind, etc., etc. But we're dormant to that because we're under a spell. We've been put asleep because the Anunnaki don't want us to be like that. We were created with that extra connection to the divine and the creator by mistake. One half of them didn't want us like that. They wanted us dormant like slaves to give them the goal, give them the energy, feed them through energy, right? The other half put it in us. But the one that didn't want that is like, right, well, we've got to keep these fuckers dumb. Because if you start waking up, we have not got any slaves. We have not got any people to feed off. They will just do their thing and then kick back, basically. I believe the Dracons are in charge of the people in the limelight with the reptilians. The reptilians, they're the face. They can take on human form. The Dracons, you know, they're another frequency above us. They're like the 4D. They can't take on our form, but they can rule us in a way through corruption, through manipulation, through lies, keeping us dumb, keeping us dormant. So if we knew what we truly were, you know, we are pretty special, then we won't be controlled and puppeted in the way of what they want, which is energy, money, power, and all that shit. So they have to lie about things like space. They have to lie about things like planets and what have you. They have to lie about where we originated from. They have to lie about things by using religion. They have to make you believe in Jesus Christ died for your sins. The Bible, all the religions, the Torah, Islam, they're all based on fake fucking projections of what actually isn't. So the characters are in that are representing something else. And the stories are representing, yeah, there's a bit of truth in this of how to treat people nice. There's a bit of facts in this You get good karma back and all that. There's some good morals, but you mix truth with bullshit, it's so hard to find the truth. So there is some good reasoning for religion, but they keep you stuck in programs such as that. Religion's a program. Aliens aren't true. Aliens aren't real. We're the only motherfuckers here. Makes us feel all special, but also makes you think, well, we're nothing special, we're just human. So all the bullshit comes from, again, I believe, the Dracons, the reptilians, the behind the scenes, the ritualizing, the sucking our energies from all this low bullshit, all the wars, fake wars, all the people by face, with power, politicians, religions. It's all done to control us, mate. And it keeps us from understanding that we've got the boys, the aliens, we've got other races, galactic races tune into our frequency because they want to start actually making sure that we rise up and we aren't controlled by these fucking idiots. And they are trying to look out for us. And they're trying to interact with people. You got all these people that communicate with them, whether you believe with them that they're actually speaking to these aliens or not, that's for you to decide. But they're definitely showing their face one way or another, whether it's in your dreams, whether it's physically or what. So space, again, I just believe they say it's what it is because they don't want us to understand things like, I think, where stars are actually energy portals, where beings can maybe come through, or some sort of energy from that star will affect actions on Earth type thing, like astrology and cosmology and all that stuff. Whereas if we knew that, if we didn't know that and we just believe, it's just a ball of gas and it takes 15 years to see us. What? Shut up. It takes so long to come to us. All that rhubarb. It just creates a story on a story. It helps this lie, helps that lie, and helps another lie. I think I answered you. Did I answer you?
Yeah, I think so.
So I drift off. I just start rabbiting on. So
It's absolutely cool. Don't worry.
No, it's great. Definitely answered. Go on, Greg.
Right, okay.
No,
No, go on.
I was going to say, I don't even really know where to begin. I've always looked into that sort of different consciousness, the powers that be are not necessarily humans, all that kind of stuff. So that resonates well with me because it's something over the years that I've dabbled with on and off. It's a subject that I think people tend to dismiss because it's too much for a lot of people.
It's too much for their psyche.
Yeah, I get it.
Because they're not been put. They've maybe not gone into things like you guys and us guys do. For their psyche, it's too much to handle, which I get. You can't force this stuff on people. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, you can psychologically put someone in a psychosis by drilling it into them.
Yeah,
because they don't want to hear it.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're probably due that we'll have to have another conversation once we digest this and we go a bit more conspiracy theory. I love a good conspiracy. And
you see, like when we say conspiracy as well, conspiracy because they put that tag on it.
Yeah,
but
it was actually
it's to distract us from what actually what's going on. So I get it, but
yeah, it was a CIA formed sort of conspiracy theory to discredit people that actually were trying to understand everything.
Look how powerful it worked as well.
Yeah, it does.
I feel sorry for all the boys and girls who actually got abducted, probably got probed. Back in the day in America and all that, where they're singing about it, but they're getting absolutely terrified about it. I feel sorry for them because right now they're laughing. They're like, "Look, come on."
It's funny. Just before we finish, I used to have conversations with my mates when I was about 18, so like the mid-90s. We were talking about UFOs and they're all just laughing at me. And not long ago, I said to one of them, I was fucking right, wasn't I? Like 30 years later, I knew I was right.
Give it another 5 to 10 years, mate. They'll be sat there having a cup of tea with one, probably. Well, we
Yeah,
don't
well,
know, do we?
you think how far we've come since 2017 with the Nimitz and the Tic Tac and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
New York Post, and you just think, oh my God, we've actually come a long way. It's being talked about. The governments in the US are saying the UFOs or UAP are real. So yeah, I think we've come a very long way in quite a short period of like social history time. Not really, because everybody's known it since the 40s. But
Yeah.
I would just like to thank you so much for your time. It's been fascinating.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem.
it's definitely interesting to get people's takes on everything. A
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of, a lot of people that listen to this will align with exactly what you've been saying. So it's been super cool.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Where can people find you if you want to
Well,
be found? If you want to be found.
yeah, I'm not massive on social media because my stuff gets took off quite often, as I was telling you before.
You're a dangerous man to know.
Well, I mean, like I was saying before, the algorithm, it was a bit friendlier years ago. It's not anymore, so I'll give up on trying to build up my stuff. But if you want to hear some random stuff that I do come out with, I do fine tune it down to get away with some sort of videos on Don't Be Told TikTok, and that's my TikTok. And what I've started to do as well, because I can't get my videos out there because the algorithm just shuts me down, I'm starting to put things into music. So music is a bit of a vault because I can put it in music, and in 5 years' time, people might be learning something off my tune. So I'm putting little messages in music, like I've just a message to the people that are listening now. One big one: nicotine. Okay, I'm not telling you to smoke, but nicotine destroys nanotech. So again, it's not conspiracy because it's an actual factual thing. This nanotech is a thing. It's put through lipid technologies, lipid particles, which is oil and water. It's being put in our bodies throughout numerous things: dentists, hospitals, foods, liquids, drinks. Nicotine has been found independently to destroy it. So I just want to put that in people's heads. Whether you start getting on the mints or whatever, take some nicotine going into the future because it's a really good health thing. So I'll come out with things like that. I'm going to put more little things like that into my music. Don't Be Told Productions on YouTube. My music's random. It's rap, it's techno, it's a bit of rock, it's a bit of everything. But that's just what I'm doing at the minute. Bit of music, bit of TikTok, if you want to find me.
Well, Bo, you've been an absolute legend. Thank you. And it's been really
Yeah,
good
nice
talking
one.
to
Cheers,
you.
Bob.
Thank
Wicked.
you so
Nice one,
much.
guys.